I'm going to show you how to use the if function with 3 conditions. I'll be using the same method that's helped me teach Excel to over 5,000 students without boring them to death. And stick around because, at the end of this video, I'm going to show you another method that could be twice as fast as the if function. So, ready to learn how to use the if function with 3 conditions? Let's get started. Imagine you have a table like this one, where you have each of your sales team members' names, their total sales for the past 12 months, and this column where you need to decide what to do with each of them. You have 3 options: promote them, send them to a training program, or let them go. To decide, you have these 3 conditions. If they sold $100,000 or more in the last year, you need to promote them. If they sold between $20,000 and $99,999, send them to a training program. And if they sold less than $20,000, it's time to let them go. Harsh, but pretty straightforward. However, evaluating each salesperson individually would take forever, so let's automate this with Excel. The first step is to start your if function. Just type in equals if to open it. For the second step, enter the condition you want to evaluate. The first one is if the sales are equal to or more than 100K, right? So, select the cell to evaluate. Enter these 2 symbols to indicate greater than or equal to, and then 100K. Next, write a comma, and then tell Excel what we want to happen if the condition is true. In this case, we want it to write promote. To do that, just type promote in quotes. Done. Next, the function asks for the value if the condition is false. This is where it gets tricky because Excel only gives you the option for 1 value, and you have 2 more possible values. Let me show you what I mean. If the first condition, that sales are greater than or equal to $100,000 is false, the salesperson could have sold between $20,000 and $99,999, or less than $20,000. So, you have 2 more options to include in your if function. How can you include 3 options? With step number 3, nesting another if within the original if. But before we get to that, don't forget to hit the subscribe button because every week I'm giving away a complete Excel course worth $297 to 10 of my subscribers. Now, step 3, nesting another if. What we're telling Excel is evaluate this first condition. If it's true, write promote. If it's false, evaluate a second condition. And this condition is if sales are greater than or equal to $20,000. If that's true, we want it to write training. Done. Now, for the last scenario where we have to let the salesperson go, we don't really need to write another condition because it's the only other possible option. If sales are not over 100K and not between 20K and 99.9K, the only other option is that they are less than $20,000. So just by writing let go here, you complete the logic. Close your formula with a parenthesis, and there you have your result. But wait, remember I told you I'd show you another method that's twice as fast as the if function? Let's dive into that. Most people use an if like this, but nesting ifs gets more confusing with every extra condition you add, and it's easy to make mistakes. But that's where the ifs function, with an S, comes in. As you might guess, it works just like if, but is specifically made for multiple conditions. Just start your ifs formula, and all you have to do is write all the conditions and actions you need. In our case, just say if sales are greater than or equal to $100,000, write promote. If they are greater than or equal to $20,000, write training. If they are less than $20,000, write let go. Close your formula, and that's it. 1,000 times easier, don't you think? Oh yeah, and one more thing. Did you know every time you successfully use a complex Excel function, a meerkat stands a little taller? Keep learning and let's elevate those meerkats.